A symbol once praised for its safety record has now become a nightmare in the skies. Passengers who once placed unwavering trust in the Boeing 787 are now gripped by fear as a string of technical issues unfolds aboard British Airways flights. This prestigious airline is plunging into crisis, facing unthinkable malfunctions that threaten to shatter both its global schedule and hard-earned reputation. What's really going on with British Airways 787? Why are these problems happening again and again? Let's uncover the truth. Once hailed as the pinnacle of modern aviation technology, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, a symbol of innovation, is now at the center of a series of crises. With its advanced design, lightweight composite materials, and exceptional fuel efficiency, the aircraft was praised as a revolution in the sky and was expected to shape the future of long-haul travel. Yet ironically, the very features that once set it apart are now becoming the source of mounting safety concerns. A series of severe technical malfunctions, production flaws, and lax oversight have turned the Dreamliner from a flagship of progress into the subject of global flight restrictions and safety alerts. Technologies once touted as next generation are now placing airlines in an impossible position: ground the aircraft or risk compromising passenger safety. The more Boeing invests in innovation, the more it seems prone to design failures, the result of prioritizing technological leaps over robust quality control systems. The recent crash involving Air India, which claimed 271 lives, was initially believed to be the result of multiple external factors. But emerging revelations are shaking the remaining faith in this aircraft type. Moreover, the recent incidents involving British Airways 787 have shattered any remaining belief that this is a safe aircraft. What exactly is happening to British Airways? On June 15th, a British Airways Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner operating from London Heathrow to Chennai was forced to turn back shortly after takeoff, dumping fuel for nearly an hour before safely returning to the UK capital. The flight crew had detected a technical issue with the aircraft's flaps and leveled off at FL 150 before attempting to resolve it. When those efforts failed, the aircraft entered a holding pattern to jettison fuel, first over Kent in southeast England, and again over the English Channel before returning to Heathrow. British Airways later stated that a technical issue had necessitated the diversion. Specifically, the flaps had failed to retract fully. As of now, the root cause of the flap malfunction remains unclear. The affected aircraft has remained grounded for 6 days following the incident. Flaps are deployed during takeoff to provide additional lift, but must be retracted once airborne. If left extended, they generate excessive drag and significantly reduce flight efficiency. Fortunately, no injuries were reported in this case, but had the outcome been different, the damage to the 787's reputation could have been far more catastrophic. And yet, this is just one of several issues that have occurred with British Airways 787 aircraft. What's wrong? But wait, it's amazing to have you still with us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our upcoming content. Thank you so much for your incredible support. This is not the first time British Airways has faced issues with its Boeing 787 fleet. Barely half a year after reinstating a long-discontinued route, the airline abruptly announced the cancellation of all summer flights between London Heathrow and Abu Dhabi. While sudden, this decision was not entirely unexpected. Behind it lies a cascade of unresolved technical complications plaguing the Dreamliner fleet and persistent engine-related failures. Several 787 aircraft are currently grounded due to a shortage of Rolls-Royce Trent 1000 engines and essential components, causing severe disruptions to flight schedules and placing significant strain on British Airways' operational network. The impact is not limited to delays. The airline is now forced to reevaluate its entire expansion strategy during the peak summer season. This situation underscores a troubling over-reliance on the Boeing 787, once celebrated as a symbol of efficiency and innovation. Yet the aircraft's reliability, particularly in relation to its engines, is now being questioned across the industry, and British Airways is no exception. In its official statement, the airline attributed the suspension of the Abu Dhabi route to prolonged delays in the delivery of Trent 1000 engines and critical spare parts from Rolls-Royce. Originally lauded for its fuel efficiency, offering over 20% improvement compared to the Boeing 767, the Trent 1000's theoretical benefits have been overshadowed by operational instability. British Airways admitted this was not the first time it had suffered from part shortages. Previously, even its Airbus A380 fleet had experienced similar setbacks. However, the decision to suspend a key international route during the busiest travel period of the year signals a far graver concern, one that reflects the widening scope of the Dreamliner's crisis. This airline currently operates 41 Boeing 787s, including 12-8s, 18-9s, and 11-10s. The airline is also awaiting delivery of 7 more -10s, aircraft that, according to several experts, are likely to be affected by the ongoing engine crisis. This not only jeopardizes the stability of current operations, but also casts doubt on future expansion plans. In response, British Airways, part of the IAG group, has arranged alternative solutions for affected passengers, offering same-day rebookings with partner airlines or full refunds for cancellations. The airline also stated it is working closely with Rolls-Royce, urging the manufacturer to fully acknowledge the severity of the situation and to expedite the delivery of long-term reliable solutions. Despite the airline's efforts to adjust schedules and uphold customer service, a critical question remains: can the Boeing 787, once held up as the future of long-haul aviation, ever regain the trust of airlines and passengers worldwide? However, British Airways is not the only carrier that faces problems with 787. When it decided to suspend its summer route between London and Abu Dhabi due to Trent 1000 engine problems, it joined a growing list of carriers grappling with the same issue. Airlines such as All Nippon Airways, ANA, and Lufthansa have also struggled with chronic problems related to the Trent 1000 engine. ANA, one of the largest 787 operators, has been addressing these issues since 2016 after discovering cracks and corrosion on the engine blades, problems that required extensive maintenance campaigns. These disruptions affected ANA's long-haul operations for years, forcing flight schedule adjustments and temporary route suspensions. The airline publicly urged both Rolls-Royce and Boeing to act swiftly, acknowledging that passenger confidence had been severely damaged. Lufthansa, though affected, has taken a more cautious approach. The airline has consistently demanded the timely delivery of replacement parts and emphasized long-term engine reliability. While it has not been hit as hard as ANA or British Airways, Lufthansa has still had to adapt its operations and carry out additional maintenance on its Dreamliner fleet. Unlike British Airways, however, neither ANA nor Lufthansa has had to suspend major routes for extended periods. Their focus on preventive maintenance and close coordination with engine manufacturers demonstrates how preparation and operational flexibility can help airlines mitigate the damage from technical crises. In contrast, British Airways now has to bear the full weight of a once-celebrated aircraft's decline and faces urgent questions about the sustainability of its fleet and the trustworthiness of Boeing's long-haul promise. And these issues have only further exacerbated the challenges facing the aviation industry. Prior to this month's Air India crash, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner had maintained an exceptional safety record, with no single hull loss accidents on record. However, this reputation has long been shadowed by persistent developmental and operational setbacks, including manufacturing quality concerns and mandatory grounding orders. While it remains unclear whether the Air India tragedy was caused by a technical failure, the incident has reignited intense scrutiny of Boeing's production practices. Just 2 days after the AI-171 crash, another Air India Boeing 787-8 experienced a technical fault shortly after takeoff. Flight AI-315, en route from Hong Kong to New Delhi, reported a fuel filter issue in the right engine. The aircraft returned safely to Hong Kong and remained grounded for approximately 30 hours. But you know what? Nearly 2 weeks have passed since the AI-171 disaster, and investigations are still underway. At this stage, authorities appear to have ruled out pilot error, fuel contamination, or bird strike as causes, but a number of possibilities remain. What is known is that the pilots reported a total loss of thrust, and the aircraft's ram air turbine, rate, was deployed, a clear sign of complete electrical and hydraulic failure. Today, Boeing is struggling to regain control. Deliveries have once again been paused, and technical fixes are being implemented under strict FAA oversight. However, the repeated and systemic nature of the issues suggests a deeper problem, one not isolated to individual failures, but rooted in the assembly processes and quality assurance systems behind the Dreamliner. The 787's troubled legacy began in 2013 when two separate lithium-ion battery fires prompted a global grounding of the fleet for 3 months, forcing Boeing to redesign the battery system. The next major setback emerged in 2020, when deliveries were suspended for 15 months following quality control issues uncovered during an FAA audit. The program has also faced accusations from Boeing whistleblowers who allege that serious manufacturing defects could compromise the long-term structural integrity of hundreds of airframes. The crisis intensified in 2024 when Boeing engineer Sam Salahpour publicly alleged that the company had skipped crucial steps in the 787 assembly process, potentially compromising long-term structural strength. Boeing swiftly denied the claims, but the damage was done. Confidence, once the foundation of the Dreamliner's reputation, had been shaken yet again, and the fractures in that trust continue to widen. Further compounding the crisis are ongoing engine problems. The Rolls-Royce Trent 1000, one of 2 engine options for the 787, has suffered a series of durability and corrosion issues since 2016. The situation began with cracked turbine blades in ANA's fleet and escalated into a widespread maintenance burden for multiple airlines. The continual need for major overhauls has transformed the Dreamliner from a technological triumph into a costly operational liability. Recently, the situation has become even more precarious due to global supply chain disruptions. Rolls-Royce, like many other manufacturers, is now struggling to source sufficient spare parts and materials to maintain and repair the engines. As a result, numerous Dreamliners have been grounded for months, awaiting critical components. Airlines such as Vietnam Airlines have been unable to hide the impact, prolonged maintenance schedules have led to reduced flight frequencies, network cutbacks, and mounting financial strain. But the burden isn't falling on airlines alone. Boeing now faces its own bottleneck. A growing number of fully assembled 787 airframes are sitting idle, awaiting engines before they can be delivered. The shortage of power plants has virtually paralyzed the 787 production line, and extended delays are pushing delivery dates further into uncertainty.